If you're reading this, somebody found my documents and decided to share my nightmare. Hopefully Barry found them. I wrote this after our meeting. In all likelihood, I am no longer part of this world. Thank God. They called me Nine, although my real name was Harry Acton. The name Nine was the nickname my daughter Crystal gave me. Her first word was nine. Nine, nine, nine. She would always say it when she looked at me. Soon after, all my family members called me Nine. I was an average guy. There was nothing special about me. I worked a lumber job most of my life. It was enough to put food on the table and a shelter over our heads. My wife died while giving birth to Crystal. In most people's lives, that would probably be the most tragic thing that could ever happen to them. Not me. Not what I witnessed, Crystal. No. The laughing man do to her? Manipulate her mind? When Barry left my apartment, I felt guilty. I felt responsible for what he was about to see in that warehouse. I knew what awaited him, and I didn't tell him what he would experience. I guess this is my way to clear my conscience a little. I did not tell Barry everything. I did not tell him the whole story. The night Crystal died was the night I sold my soul to the Laughing Man. I asked the Laughing Man who he was, just like I told Barry, and he gave me that damned riddle in response. However, our conversation did not end there. I was selfish, and I think about my decision every night. The Laughing Man asked me in a kind of voice that is not of this world if I would like to die tonight. I was shaking vigorously. I couldn't control my body. It was like his hollowed-out eyes were grabbing my throat and suffocating me. I thought he was going to kill me regardless of my decision. I managed in my hoarse voice to tell him no. The Laughing Man laughed uproariously at my response. He covered his entire face with his wrinkly, vein-filled hands and only left one of his hollowed-out eyes visible. He rocked his head back and forth, laughing uncontrollably. It was terrifying. I expected to die. I still, to this day, remember our conversation like it was yesterday. The Laughing Man's face, still covered with one hollowed-out eye showing, asked me a series of questions. I will transcribe it below.
Harry, why don't you want to die?
I want to kill you, some way, somehow. I will find a way, and if I can't, I will send you back to wherever you crawled out of and throw away the key.
Why so angry?
Go to hell.
Oh, Harry, your day to die is not today. It is not tomorrow and not the next. You will be my puppet until I decided you should no longer exist.
I'm not going to do anything for you, ever.
Oh, you're mistaken. You will do everything I ask of you, or else you will live a hell only imaginable in my deepest of thoughts. A hell you do not want to live through. Harry, you have a choice, but I think we both know what choice that should be. Look at what your precious daughter did to herself. We wouldn't want that to happen to your sister, mother, or father, would we? I'm glad we can both see eye to eye.
The Laughing Man then suddenly vanished. He just disappeared. It was clear he was some kind of evil demon of sorts. I was left in my daughter's room, on my knees, staring at my now deformed daughter. I was still shaking, sweat dripping off my nose. I felt like I had just had a conversation with the devil, and I had made a deal with it. What would he have me do? I asked myself. Over the years, the Laughing Man broke me down. I never saw him again in person after that night. I only saw him in my nightmares. It wasn't every night, but the nights he did appear in my slumber, I felt like a piece of me chipped away. The Laughing Man told me to kidnap children and take them to my apartment. I initially did not oblige. I got a call the next day after the first nightmare. It was my father. He had a somber tone. His voice was rattling. He told me my mother all of a sudden came down with throat cancer. He said she couldn't stop laughing. He told me she was crying. Her eyes looked so sad, but she was laughing. It was like she couldn't control it and couldn't stop. She was laughing so hard, blood started coming up her throat. He rushed her to the hospital. The doctors had to put her in a self-induced coma to get her to stop. If she had gone on laughing, she would have eventually lost too much blood. While in the coma, they did all sorts of tests and concluded she had throat cancer. I was speechless. Did I cause this? Did the Laughing Man have something to do with this? Surely he did. I asked my father if I should come down to the hospital, and he told me to stay home for now as nobody can see her. He told me not to worry about him, that he's holding up. We said our goodbyes and hung up. I remember trembling after that phone call. I was looking around my room, dizzy. I felt like the fabric of reality had completely shifted. I guess I never took the Laughing Man's threat seriously until now. I thought about the possibility of him messing with my family members, but I never thought it would be like this. I don't know. I guess it wasn't really real until that day. I hadn't told my father about Crystal yet. I informed the police what happened. I was, of course, the prime suspect, but after about a year, they cleared me and decided it was a suicide. Poor me. I had another nightmare that night. The laughing man told me to kidnap a little girl, or else something tragic would happen. He was laughing the whole time, trying to get the words out. His sinister laugh. I still hear that laugh even when I'm not sleeping. Whenever someone around me laughs, I instantly think of that monster. I have never been able to escape him. When I woke up, I decided I was going to end my life. I was done with it. With this world, with the laughing man, I didn't care anymore. I took my gun out of the drawer without any hesitation. I placed it in my mouth and pulled the trigger. Safety was on. Fuck. I quickly turned the safety off and put it in my mouth again and pulled the trigger. Safety again. What the hell, I thought. I repeatedly pulled the trigger, screaming at the top of my lungs, rupturing my vocal cords. I threw the gun against the wall, making a dent in the rose wallpaper. I went into the kitchen and took out the biggest knife I could find. Knives had no safety feature. This was it. I placed the knife to my throat and went for the slice. It didn't pierce my skin. The knife was rubber. I took the knife and cut clean through an apple sitting on the counter. It was for sure not rubber. I put it up against my throat again and went for the kill. Rubber. I dropped the knife, fell to my knees and cried myself to sleep on the cold kitchen floor. He wouldn't let me escape. I lost my soul after I kidnapped the first little girl. I took her to my apartment and killed her, as that was the wish of the laughing man. I hid the body in my apartment. I made sure to mask the smell. The laughing man left me alone after the first kill. Why did he have me do it if he wasn't going to follow up with anything? I felt horrible. I was lifeless, soulless, speechless. The next year I had another nightmare. He told me to kidnap a little boy and kill him. I did. I wasn't strong enough anymore to resist. I was a robot. Every year he had me kidnap a child, for 20 years straight. After the 5th body, he told me to put them in a warehouse and leave them there. He had told me where the key was hidden to access the warehouse. The key I eventually gave Barry. The children I killed all had names. They were all people, just as innocent as my little Crystal. I had a child in my past life, but that was a distant memory. He stripped me of my past, my normalcy. I stopped taking care of myself after a while. Didn't shower, didn't brush my teeth. Hygiene was an afterthought. I lost myself. I am now an 82-year-old man with no self-respect, no honor, no dignity, waiting to die. All of that was taken away from me. The only interaction I have with any living thing are my cats. I feel like I am one of them, an animal without a cause. The last act, at least before writing this, was to retrieve a voice recorder and put it in the warehouse of the decayed, as I call it. The laughing man told me the voice recorder was laying in a gutter 3 hours from me. It took me 10 hours to find it, but I did. I searched all over for it. People would stare at me, assuming I was homeless, no doubt, but I didn't care. I was a slave. I took it to the warehouse after my adventure and placed it in the middle of the children, just like he had asked. I didn't care enough to listen to it. I've listened to the laughing man enough for my own liking. He never told me I couldn't listen to it, but I was content with not. I have been reading Barry's experiences on here and saw he included the tape with the voice recording. I'm not sure he should have done that, but what do I know? My name is Harry Acton, and I killed 20 innocent children for the laughing man. I deserve to die. He is real. Please, Barry, end him. God bless. Jamie Thomas, age 4. Sean Jacobs, age 8. Dustin Ventrill, age 11. Abigail Lesro, age 3. James Masserer, age 6. Larry Condon, age 11. Jenny McGowan, age 9. Peter Fellington, age 4. Nancy Littleton, age 7. Ferris Burrow, age 9. Cindy Aparo, age 10. Vel Ingleton, age 7. Chance Daly, age 6. Dominic Lopez, age 4. Kyle Onnett, age 10. Luis Ramirez, age 13. AJ Enner, age 12. Gerald McKay, age 2. Walter Lancic, age 7. James Adams, age 1. Rest in peace, you innocent children. May God touch your souls. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this part. It was really interesting, and the series is getting really interesting as well. I'm sorry about not posting like I said I was, but I just haven't been able to find time for recording. I was going to record on Friday when I had it off, but my brother was moving out of state, so I wanted to spend time with him. So, yeah, I would really appreciate if you guys would send me like your own scary stories, because it's really hard to find like stories on Reddit, and I really don't want to be like any of the other commentators that are in this community. I mean, I love all of them and they're really great. But I really want to hear from you guys. I want your stories, you know. I'm really interested in knowing you guys on a personal level, and it'd be really nice to hear your stories, you know, and have me narrate them. Um, Please try to email me your scary stories. I'll have my email in the description below. Please follow me on Twitter at deadfather underscore. I'm trying to find more stories that are short, you know. The ones that I've been finding that have been really good have been series, and it's taken me a long time to finish these series, and I don't want to keep you guys waiting. So, I would really like to hear from you guys. So, stay safe, and remember, fear is around every corner.